let me hit you guys with the question, right? 'Cause I know it's going to be a little bit harder for you guys because you guys are, you know, I mean, I like to look at things glass half full too, but you guys are like really optimistic. You guys don't like to call anybody busts or anything like that, except for John off camera. He likes to take his little shots off to Baker, but he won't say it on camera though. So history shows that the majority of the quarterbacks taken in the first round are not going to,
Succeed.
how do I want to say this, produce in the NFL. They're going to be busts. If you want to put it in layman's terms, they're going to be busts. So in that draft class of what last year, uh, Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Justin Fields,
And Zach Wilson.
Zack Wilson, those are the five in the first round. So history says that two of those guys are going to have a successful NFL career. Three is pushing it. So tell me the three that you guys think are not going to have a successful NFL career, if you want to say it lightly for you guys, because I know you don't like calling
No, I
people
got an
busts.
opinion. Justin, you want to hit first? Or want me to go?
Oh no, I want to hear you.
Man, we all look at physical traits of quarterbacks, and all five of these guys have them. But along with the traits, you must have the surrounding talent. While you develop the guys that help you grow, like a Dak Prescott, while he continued to grow as a passer his first year in Dallas, they had the perfect coaching, an amazing offensive line, terrific running game, and capable enough weapons. Lamar Jackson's an even greater example, where the offense was tailor built around his skills as a runner. So while he was building off of what he can do as he was a very rough passer to start off, but he could add on to that in time with the running style. When I look at Justin Fields in Chicago, he's the first one that comes to mind. He's in a terrible spot. Darnell Mooney to me is a high-end receiver number two, but after that, you don't got an offensive line. Did you sign an offensive-oriented head coach? Matt Eberflus is far from that. So for me, that's the first one. Mac Jones, New England, I have a lot of faith in him just continuing to grow, especially when it comes to just being that cerebral quarterback that can pick apart defense. I think he's the perfect successor to Tom Brady. Trevor Lawrence last year got better and better as the year went on. Sure, he didn't put up impressive numbers. It was a pretty poor rookie season, but he had no talent around him. I look at Jacksonville and say, are they surrounding him with the pieces? Christian Kirk's not a receiver number one. He's being paid like one, but they have Travis Etienne. They have good running backs. I think he is the second one. And that leaves us with Trey Lance, and San Francisco is an amazing situation. And to me, I honestly think he's going to succeed as well, similar to Jalen Hurts, where he's in a perfect place where he can just be what he is as a runner, and he's continuing to build and improve as a passer as his first few years will go on. But he's also very raw. So I think for the 49ers, they have to do everything they can to make sure their team stays healthy. If Debo and George Kittle are on the fields, I have a lot of faith and optimism in Trey Lance. But if they aren't, Trey Lance is not going to pan out. It's probably going to be a disappointment to me because he's going to need that surrounding talent early on. And that leads us to last but not least, who was the fifth one I'm missing?
Zack Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Yeah. Oh man, he didn't break out in college until his third season. This offense line's improved. You have AVT, you bring in Lake and Tomlinson. Mekhi Becton's already down, but you bring Dwayne Brown. Looking at the Jets' history, as much as I like Zach, I think he and Trey Lance, those are the two wild cards. If I had to pick one, I think Justin Fields would fail, or at least disappoint. Where I think Justin Fields will stay in the NFL, but I just don't see him hitting the way those other guys will. Zach Wilson and Trey Lance, the two guys for me, they're on the cusp. I think one of those guys will succeed, the other one won't. So I got three
Okay.
players.
All right. Justin, what do you think?
First off, you guys know how I feel about the 49ers. I'm a big believer in Trey Lance. And if the preseason game didn't show you that this guy's at least a little bit of capable of something, uh, I think I think the 49ers will be just fine with Trey Lance under center. Yeah, there'll be growing pains, but when you talk of John started it perfectly by saying, it's what you surround your quarterback with. And he's probably in the best situation of them all outside of Mac Jones in New England. I look at the 49ers, I see the Shanahans, I see that offense, and it's perfectly fit for a player like him to succeed. and you have Debo Samuel, you have Ayuk, you have Elijah Mitchell, you have George Kittle in that, as that security blanket, and that's one big security blanket. We'll get to tight ends later, but I think Trey Lance is going to be going to succeed. I'm with you on Justin Fields. I'm not much of a fan, and it's sad because it's not really on him, but it's also what's surrounding him. Trevor Lawrence, I'm a big Jaguars guy. You already know. I'm predicting a big season out of them. Well, improve a big season in terms of improvement. Zach Wilson is a tough one, but he has all the talent. He has the arm talent. All the comments that come out from him in camp. I mean, John was blown away when he got to see Zach Wilson in person at camp. If he gets better, if he's smarter, that's really it. It's just him being more decisive. I feel like he'd be a much better quarterback and he'd be primed to succeed. I think the Jets are putting pieces around him to succeed. I don't think they're failing in that part. So it's really just a matter of him taking those next steps. I believe we can get four very successful quarterbacks out of that draft. I believe Trevor Lawrence is going to be a superstar. I think Trey Lance is going to be a dog. Mac Jones is going to potentially be fighting for Super Bowls with New England. Now it's up to Zach. I don't
So
have much faith in the Bears, so I'm just unfortunately I'm going to leave Justin Fields out of this one.
yeah. So I mean, I think four quarterbacks that would have a successful NFL career. I would have to like double check in the NFL history. I don't think that's ever happened in one draft.
Ben's class.
Ben's class.
Philip Rivers, Eli Manning, and Matt Schaub in the third round too.
He had a couple of good years. I don't
I'm
know if
just
you.
throwing in a fourth that was a starter.
I
Some
get.
playoff
I mean,
teams.
but if you were
Successful
gonna
quarterback.
tell me, if you're gonna tell me Zach Wilson's gonna have a Matt Schaub career, I'm gonna tell you that's not successful, especially for a
Clearly,
first round pick. For
I'm just
Schaub in the third round is
he made a Pro
successful, but
Bowl. I'm just saying he's relevant.
I understand he made a Pro Bowl, but like, okay, listen, whatever. For me, it's Trevor Lawrence. I'm a huge believer in Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I wanted my New England Patriots to tank that season and start Jared Stidham instead of signing Cam Newton for us to get the first overall pick. So I believe in Trevor Lawrence. I think he's going to be a like Justin said, a superstar in this league. Mac Jones, I think is going to be very good, borderline great. Um, don't see it in Justin Fields, and I know John doesn't like it when I use the colleges against them, but sorry. Name me an Ohio State quarterback that was successful in the last decade, and you won't find me one. And like you guys said, the situation he's in, it's Chicago. They're it's just yeah. Um, uh, 49ers with Trey Lance, I don't see it. I think he's going to be. I think he has raw talent. There's no denying that. Um, I don't think. I think he's going to be too wild with it. I don't think he's going to learn how to. I think his quarterback play is going to be very rudimentary. Like it's going to be very low. I don't see it. I think he's so much of a project. I just don't. I don't see it, even with the talent around him. And I think it's going to be even more glaring his fail if he fails because of the talent around him. I don't think anybody's going to be able. Like if he fails, I don't think anybody's going to be able to say, "Oh, Trey Lance, excuse." No, no, no. There's no excuse. You've got everything you need around you to succeed, Trey Lance. And then finally with Zach Wilson, I think he's the wild card for me. He could be either boom or bust. Um, if you hold my head to the fire, I would say he's probably going to bust.